everybody. This is Roberto Lorenzo Ferguson. That is Robert Ferguson. I want to say thank you for being here. And for those of you who are new, welcome. And do me a favor, please like, subscribe, comment. Let me know who you are, where you're from. If you haven't been to our YouTube channel, let me invite you to go to the YouTube channel because the goal is to get the word out. And every time you take a moment and like anything that I'm doing, and you feel that it's information that can help others, that helps us tap into that algorithm, and then we will slowly start to grow this channel, which we have been doing. And I just appreciate everyone for giving me the opportunity to share with you information that I 100% believe can help people. And today, in my sharing today, I am going to share with you 7 things that can change how you think about nutrition, how you think about your health, and more importantly, solution-minded, what you can do to improve a big part of your health. And I believe what I'm going to share, for most people who listen to my share today, you're going to learn something that you don't know. And oftentimes I get a lot of people who are already in the space of teaching others nutrition, personal training, but I also get a lot of those people who think they know everything, and which is fine with me, because I really like to be of service to those who want the truth. They want to position themselves where they can actually help people and not just make money on people, but to help people. My favorite book says that my people perish for the lack of knowledge. I'm seeing that almost every day when it comes to nutrition and our health, is that we have a little bit of the knowledge, but there's so much that we're missing. And what we're missing may be the thing that you need. And I believe a lot of people will live their entire lives and not be aware of what I'm going to share with you today. Now, I titled my share today, "What You're Not Getting Enough Of May Be Your Problem." What you're not getting enough of may be your problem. And then as you read in my short description, and I'm just going to read it, and this, everyone I believe kind of gets this, and that is, we all know that too much of anything can be a negative. Would you agree? Okay. All right. We agree. And too little of something may lead to an imbalance as well, right? So if you got too much of something, there's an imbalance. If you have too little of something, there's an imbalance. Said another way, this is all about bringing everything back into balance. We're talking about yin, yang, in yo, hot, cold, north, south. Like, let's find a balance. And it's in that balance that is going to make all the difference. And when it comes to nutrition, right, and how we look at health, I believe, okay, and here's my hypothesis, that if everyone understood what we're about to talk about today in this share, they would have more critical thinking and they would be able to navigate and figure out what is going to be the truth. It's like, I look at people, when you think of politics, for instance, it's always like all the way to the left, all the way to the right. It's like a pendulum, and there's no balance. And again, I am going to bring home some information today in our time together that is going to help you see what is really important and how people can benefit from it. And let me also say, if someone was looking for a part-time job or a full-time job, what I'm sharing with you is going to give you the edge like nothing else you've ever seen. What I'm going to share with you today, and I would debate this with anyone, and after being in this space for 29 consistent years and doing all the things that I've done as far as #1 infomercial on TV, writing national best-selling books, serving on various scientific boards, continuing to do that, being on a new scientific advisory board, which I'll be sharing in a press release very soon, helping major celebrities that are known all over the world, helping politicians, helping executives, pro athletes, myself, my kids, my community, being acknowledged here and there, all these accolades. I have never seen what I have now recently been introduced to. So let me finish reading this and then we're going to get into it. Okay. I go on to say that in the world that we live today, when it comes to our health and desire to get control of our weight, abundance is a huge part of the problem. But what many aren't aware of is how deficiency, not getting enough, may be the primary reason for a variety of shortcomings. I'm talking about struggling with the weight, having a body filled with inflammation, dealing with insulin resistance, having joint pain and stiffness. All of a sudden, you're starting to lose hair, skin irritation, acne, dryness. Like, where's all this coming from? Fibromyalgia. Where was this 40 years ago? Fatty liver disease. Wait a minute, what is going on? But again, when we start to think of how I'm going to deal with this situation that you have, it must be that I need more of something, right? And when I say more, not a little bit, I'm talking an abundance. But I believe, and what I'm going to share with you today, it's about the deficiency. So let me give you an example. Vitamin D, right? Vitamin D is highly recommended. It is one of the top, the top 5 most studied molecules ever in history. Okay, is right behind penicillin, aspirin, and prednisone. Vitamin D is studied. And why is it studied? Because we had quite a few people walking around with not enough vitamin D. And now we have a test. And why is that important? Well, if you are deficient in vitamin D, that can cause osteopenia, osteoporosis, right? Basically, brittle bones. That could lead to more falls. That's not a good thing. Many people are aware that, okay, if you're deficient with, other things, right? Like iron, that can cause anemia. It zaps your energy. And the antidote is let's get more iron in your body. So this is when we're deficient. So I want you to really get the deficiency part. If you're deficient with vitamin C, you can develop a condition called scurvy. Okay, and this is well documented nutritional disorder. It has historical significance, and it continues to this day to impact the world. So what are the negatives with vitamin C deficiency, not getting enough? Well, it can lead to shortness of breath, nerve problems. You can have a fever. Sometimes people experience convulsions. Vitamin C deficiency can result in bleeding inside the brain and around the heart, which can cause death in some people when vitamin C deficiency is untreated. You follow me? Like this is deficiency. A lot of you will totally get this, and that is when your body doesn't get an adequate amount of protein, right, in the form of amino acids. What could happen if I'm deficient in protein? Well, it can lead to a lot of symptoms, including increased infections and illnesses. When you lose muscle mass, which is happening to a lot of people who are taking a drug, these weight loss drugs, we know for a fact 40% of the weight that you lose, based on JAMA, Journal of American Medical Association, they said it in a short study. I believe it's going to end up being around 60%. When you lose muscle, that's referred to a term called sarcopenia. And people over 60, this is happening. And when they lose that muscle, it sets them up for a ton of problems. Why aren't they telling you about this? And I have my thoughts about that. It can also lead to a condition called beriberi. That's a deficiency of thiamine, right? Also known as vitamin B1. The body needs thiamine to use some of the amino acids, which is what makes up protein. And what happens when you don't get enough of this thiamine? The lack of thiamine causes the disease beriberi. Now, we don't hear about that because we're not deficient when it comes to protein. We're getting an abundance of protein, I believe, too much, and it can cause some other problems, but we're not deficient, especially in North America. People aren't going to the doctor to find out they have beriberi. Now, what are some of the difficulties with beriberi? Well, I know that you can go Google or YouTube videos, you'll see if you get beriberi, you can't even stand, or you have a really tough time standing up. You definitely can't walk, and you kind of lose control of your muscles. But that happens when you get a deficiency. But we don't have a deficiency with that. We don't have a deficiency with vitamin C anymore. We don't have a deficiency with vitamin D anymore. We do have a deficiency of this thing called omega-3 fatty acids. Now, there's another one called omega-6. They're both essential, meaning you must consume them somehow to live. But we get an abundance of omega-6. And we know because of the abundance, even though it's essential, because of the abundance, stay with me here, it creates a whole bunch of other problems. The abundance does. Okay, where's a lot of this omega-6 coming from? Vegetable oils, seed oils. The number one consumed edible oil in the world right now is very high in omega-6. It's called soybean oil. And you're thinking, well, I don't buy soybean oil. Why would I even? I don't know anybody that cooks with soybean oil. It's in everything. It's in mayo jars. It's in your dressings, your salad dressings. It's everywhere. And unless you're knowledgeable and educated on what to look for, you don't even realize you're consuming it. I mean, Kevin Hart, the celebrity comedian, has a restaurant chain that he's growing. And they only use rice bran oil to cook all of their foods. And people who are vegetarian are going there because it's all meatless. But they're not telling you that it's seed oils. And it's part of the abundance that creates a whole bunch of problems. I mean, you guys, if you stay with me and if you care about anybody, send them this video. I'm telling you where we're going. And if I'm doing a good job, and let me know if you got questions, let me know. Those who catch me live, please throw out the questions and I will help you. So we can see the abundance where it's causing problems. But as we've looked at vitamin C, vitamin D, right? Vitamin B1, those deficiencies, we got them handled. But we don't have it handled when it comes to omega-3. Omega-3, when you are deficient, which according to the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey, which has gone on for years, it is reported clearly. The National Institute of Health is on part of this. The World Health Organization is a part of this. It's like a known fact. And nobody's doing anything about it. And when you go and you look at the data, okay, if you look at the data, okay, remember how I said, like when you look at molecules that have been studied over the years, of the 19 most researched molecules in medical history, you have penicillin, aspirin, prednisone, vitamin D. Those are the top 4 that are the most researched. Guess what the top 5 is? Listen to me. Guess what number 5 is? The most researched. We know the benefit of penicillin. We know the benefit of aspirin. We know the benefit of prednisone. We know the benefit of vitamin D. But the 5th, there's a tie actually. It's folic acid. And if you know anything about folic acid, you can look at your cereal, you can look at your bread, especially in the United States. Folic acid is added to almost everything. Because we know there's a lot of health challenges that come about when you're deficient with folic acid. So they've done everything to make sure we get folic acid. Women know all about that if you've had a kid. But tied with that is omega-3 fatty acids. Tied with that is omega-3 fatty acids. That's not added to your food. You're not, and this is the most research in the world. Think about what I'm saying. I'm telling you, this is one of the most important shares that that I can remember myself doing. And I wish I was in a position where you could see me. So I have the radio set up right now. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to put this off. I got to get out. I got to share this. And I'll do others where you'll see me. I'll be on camera. But just I want you to hear me. I want you to focus on what I'm saying. In history, this is not a conspiracy. You can look. This is all real. So it's got to make you wonder, okay, wait a minute. There's a lot of energy put into the solution and the studies and all that around everything else Robert's talking about, but why not omega-3? Now, there was a big push for fish oils, but the Cochrane report, all you got to do is go to the Cochrane report, non-biased, no pharma money. They're known for telling the truth. People from around the world come in full agreement, and they go, fish oils, for the most part, not all of them are helpful. Matter of fact, many reports say over 90% of fish oil that promotes omega-3 is rancid and it's not working. But I know why it's not working. And that industry knows that it doesn't work. But it brings in over $10 billion a year. 1 out of every 5 people over the age of 60 are taking a fish oil. So let's not disturb it. Let them think it's helping. But let's just look at the deficiency. Let's look at the deficiency. Because you would do something if you had a deficiency of iron. You would do something if you had a deficiency of vitamin D3. You would do something if you had a deficiency of vitamin C. But here's the craziest part to all of this. People aren't doing anything because they don't know what to do when it comes to their deficiency of omega-3. And why is it that they don't know? Because their doctors don't test. Your doctor can do a test right now. Like I did a presentation last week for 13 physicians. And it was on the Diet for Life methodology because we're getting ready. We have 3 trials we're doing this year alone. And these doctors had never learned about the work I do in nutrition. So it was their introduction to it because they're going to be part of this big study we're doing. And the study is going to eventually go national. I mean, we've done the work. Now it's time. And for all you advocates out there who are health advocates, I hope you're paying attention. And I hope you learn from this because those who can influence others or at least introduce others to what I'm sharing right now, you could actually be helping people. You could be helping them. And if you don't want to help them, send them my way because it's me and I have a bunch of coaches that I work with. And now I have new partners because they're now positioned to be part of this mission to help raise the awareness of the shortcomings of people not getting enough omega-3. So what are some of the symptoms of not getting enough omega-3? Well, fatigue, depression, dry eyes. Think about that. Dry skin, insulin resistance, which we talk about a lot about, struggling with losing weight, lack of concentration, brittle nails, brain fog, brittle hair, cardiovascular disease, dandruff, earwax buildup, rheumatoid arthritis, joint pain and discomfort, keratosis pilaris, like chicken skin. And I guarantee your dermatologist, they're not saying you need more omega-3. But if you look at the medical reference, all of the books, it's right there. One of the most studied ingredients in the history of them doing studies is right there. And when you go to your doctor with dry eye, they are not saying you need to eat more fish. You need more omega-3. Now, I'm sure there's someone, but what the hell is going on that they're not doing this? Matter of fact, when I mention the word depression, and this is really interesting, the National Institute of Health, about 17 years ago, they did a study on omega-3s as far as behavior, depression, and when I say behavior, like bad behavior, good behavior, and they took prisoners, I mean, thousands of prisoners, and they had a placebo group, so they gave them fake omega-3, And then they had a group that had real omega-3. And they had them take this every day. And in a very short period of time, and this is significant, almost 40% of the people who were taking the omega-3 had better behavior. They weren't getting in trouble as much. The fights had gone down significantly. Like everything was better from a mental standpoint. Oh man, you guys, this can get really good. And it can almost sound conspiracy because like when I think of conspiracy, it's like someone talking about something that is so right in front of you, but yet, hell, why didn't I know that? And why aren't they addressing it? So you can call it a conspiracy, but I'm laying the foundation here. The facts are very clear. The facts are very, very clear. I mean, it is right out in front. So when I was introduced to this company, who number one is test-based, so that means I can give someone a test in the privacy of their home, and inside of 10 to 20 days, the world's leading medical establishment that looks at the red blood cell, right? This is like getting a hemoglobin A1C test. We're not talking about, serum, what's floating around in your blood. We're talking about cellular. And I can get a 10 to 20 days after doing my little test at home, prick my finger, put it in the mail. It goes all the way to Norway. And then it comes back. And when I say what it comes back is you get a report, 20-page report that breaks it all down. You can get this right now, right now. And you will know. I just had a client the other day. I told her about it. I said, well, you can go to your doctor. She said, I'm going to go to my doctor. They didn't even do a red blood cell test. They did a serum test and they didn't give her anything. I mean, it's embarrassing. And I go, plus your doctor don't even know how to explain it to you. That is just absolutely, it's horrific. Now, for those of you who are finding this already interesting, now is the time to get with me on this. I'm telling you right now. Or get with any of my coaches or anyone who shares this video and you listen to it while you're driving, while you're washing dishes. Get with them right now. Because this is going to blow up because it's a real solution. This is a real solution. You can do it now or you can do it later. This is not a fake promise. This is not, do this, take this, and you're going to be better. No. This is test, right? Because when you take the product, 4 months later, you get a free test to see if the product's working. And when you see your numbers improve and you have the anecdotal experience of like, wow, I feel less inflamed. Wow, the weight is starting to come off. Wow, my hair is better. And then you got the proven medical report that you can look at. You can say, I started here and now I'm here. The same as they do with vitamin D3. I started here, I was deficient. Now I'm not. I mean, Lord, help me help everybody get what I'm doing, or help me with the right words, Lord, that so I can convey what has me excited about this. I was excited just for the fact that I could actually test someone. Then I found out they actually have a really good, scientifically validated, verified product. And it's extremely affordable. I mean, so when I go over all these symptoms that a lot of you are experiencing, and I want you to just remind yourself, your doctor never tested you. They never gave you an omega test. They never did. They may have given you some type of drug, like my one dear friend's mom. She had dry eye and it started getting worse. So they gave her these drops. She takes the drops. After a year or two, it started getting worse. So they play with these gels. Then that didn't help. So then they attempted to plug her tear ducts. That made things even worse. This woman went from one of her pleasures was being able to read and do, scramble or puzzle games. Now she can't do that anymore. Her quality of life was turned upside down. And here's the part that makes me get frustrated. What if, which we have enough convincing evidence that says this, because she's no longer alive. She's gone. God bless her soul. But what if she was given a quality omega-3? What if, instead of going from one prescription to the next prescription, What if? That could have made a huge difference in the quality of her life. We are deficient in omega 3. You cannot make this stuff up. You cannot make this up. So people who are experiencing pain and discomfort and frustration and blaming it on their metabolism, and when you hear people say, "Oh yeah, to help your metabolism," explain metabolism. Most people can't, who are selling metabolism and telling people about metabolism, they can't even explain it. They don't even know what it is. And then if you just look at them, even though you don't know what it is, you can tell they don't know what it is. It's like, so we have people selling things, putting things out there. You don't know. There's no test. There's no baseline to see where you started from. And for all you physicians and nurses, many of you are my clients. So when you hear me share this stuff and you don't reach out, your silence really tells a lot about who you are. Because if you don't know something that could potentially help you, why aren't you knocking over doors and buildings to get that information so you could actually provide more? And I think a lot of people just want a job. They don't care. I mean, I hate to come across and sound, little like disgruntled, and I am in the healthcare world, just like my partner, second generation healthcare specialist. His dad was in the business for 30 years and was complaining about the same things we're complaining about right now. And when you have an abundance of one thing, and I'm not going to go scientific today, and you have a deficiency of the other thing, omega-6 abundance, omega-3 deficient, and no one's doing anything to correct it, all you can do is look for other things that you think will help. And if you leadership begins from the top. If you're a doctor, which they're not, they are not doing an omega test. But you know what? Who cares about them? We can do the omega test. My clients I'm doing omega tests with my clients right now. And I got some that get in their own way because, they're like, "Robert, I mean, you sound excited about this. Let me think of what is there to think about." When I was writing my very first weight loss book, I sat down in the Starbucks in 1998 to write this book. And I remember being fully aware that we had an imbalance of omega-6 to 3. And back then, the numbers that I would report would be like 4 to 1. So 4 would be omega-6, 1 would be omega-3, or lower is where you want to be. So the data was very clear then. But we also had suspicion, as my kids would say, sus, when it came to fish oils, because a lot of them were rancid. And I never promoted them. And I'm not promoting a fish oil today. I'm promoting an oily fish. It's a product that we can now make available to people. And more importantly, I have a test that I can do with anybody. Why not know? And once you know, you can fix it. And then by taking the steps to fix it, you're then no longer deficient. I'm about to wrap this up, you guys. When you're no longer deficient, the same as being deficient with vitamin D, vitamin C, you then can correct quite a few things. My kids are using this product. Why? Because I know that over 90%, based on all the studies, all the research, 90% of kids are deficient the same as adults. Why do we have more kids with ADHD? What's going on here? Where's this mental health continuing to grow? If I go pick up a mental health book right now, there's two things that you may not see in any of these books, and these people are calling themselves experts. One, a big part of our mental health is in your gut microbiome. Serotonin, right, the feel good hormone, over 90% of it is produced in the gut. So how can someone talk about mental health and not talk about the importance of a balanced gut? You can't. That's the first sign that someone doesn't know what the hell they're talking about. They do not know what they're talking about. It's like the same as you can't talk about the immune system without talking about the gut microbiome. 70% of our gut microbiome, or our immune system, is our gut microbiome. 70%. So how can you talk about immune system without talking about the gut? You just can't. And then when we talk about health at all, they're not addressing the importance of omega-3. Now, I get why someone wouldn't, because I wouldn't and didn't. I mean, I would encourage my clients to eat more fish because I didn't have a product that I could tell them, hey, use this product, which is made from real food. So it's not like a synthetic product that's made. It's real food. It's oil from a fish that is infused with this lipophilic polyphenol called fluorotannin. And they extract this from these olives and they infuse it, and it works like a chaperone for the omega-3, the oil, and gets it to the cells. And why do we know it gets to the cells? Because we do a test. You do the test, 4 months later, you do the test again, we will know if it's working or not. You remove bias and let it speak for itself. I'm telling you, man, this is crazy. And I'm glad for those of you who got with me. I would stop everything. If I wanted to do something with my health and I needed and I'm like, wait a minute, this is making a lot of sense. I would be like, okay, let me borrow, $50 from somebody. Seriously. This is profound to me. This is profound. Look at all the people who are experiencing Alzheimer's and dementia now. Alzheimer's and dementia. Where's this coming from? Now, there's other things that are playing a role, but I know that the brain is 60% made up of fat. And I know that DHA, which is a big part of omega-3, that is omega-3, you need to have an abundance of that. And I know that in the data that continues to come out, people who have dementia and Alzheimer's, guess what they're deficient in? DHA. Is this a coincidence? You probably have a parent who has Alzheimer's or dementia. Maybe they've already passed. What if you eventually find out with true confirmation that they were deficient in omega-3 and that's what led them to that demise? So why not be in balance? Everyone would benefit from being in balance. Everyone. So I'm part of a new team. And the cool and exciting part is that you can be a part of the same team. One, you can be part of the team just taking care of yourself. Two, you can say, hey, I want to be a part of this too. It makes sense, Robert. And I want to learn more about all this. Because I'm always going to promote the Diet Free Life methodology because we teach people how to eat what they want to eat, but eat it in a way where they can get results. Now, do we bring up what we perceive as a negative when it comes to seed oils? Avoid them, cut down on them, avoid them at best you can. Absolutely. The same as I've always said, don't eat trans fats. And when I was promoting people to avoid trans fats, it was during a time where I remember a doctor wrote me an email and said that I was putting out false information and that trans fats would not be in our food supply if it was as bad as I was saying it is. Well, fast forward, I was right. Me and a whole bunch of other people is now banned from our food supply. As of 2018, June 18th. I know June 18th because that's my birthday. What I'm sharing with you guys, this is real, this is true, this is solid. And it's not your fault that you didn't know this until now. But it is your fault if you continue to avoid what is truth. Now, I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to give you one more example because one of my clients, I'm not going to mention her name. I am not going to mention her name because she shared something with me about someone that she knew. And this person was having a moment where they basically were experiencing, it looked like they were having a stroke, but it was like amnesia. And there's a scientific name for this version. And I went to my medical reference book and I looked it up and there it was. It was the one of the primary causes for this moment where this person totally forgot because it was acute. Almost didn't know. He didn't know who he was, where he was, what was going on. And right there in my medical reference journal, it said deficiency of omega-3. All this man needs is a good quality omega-3, and he can reduce the risk of that happening to him again. That's crazy. So again, there's a lot of people who will hear me share this information and they will do nothing. I don't know if it's ego or they don't want to learn anymore. And I don't know why you see that in a lot of different spaces, different genres of work, professions, or they'll try to make it their own. But I'm a team player and I believe that it takes a village. So I want to be in partnership with people because this is exciting to be able to share information and to put people in a position where they can win instead of continuing to fall prey to chasing effects instead of reversing them. All you got to do is think about what I'm saying. It's the truth. What I'm sharing is the truth. But I also know that many of us are indoctrinated to think a certain way. And what I mean by that is we're like, well, I'm going to bring this up to my doctor. Okay. And then what? Your doctor will, well, you don't really need that. You're good. It's kind of like when you go to the doctor and they'll say things like, well, I could do the test, but, I don't think that's going to work for you. And what they're saying is that your benefits, right, your insurance benefits don't cover that. And I don't know why doctors are real quick to go, well, that's not going to work for you. No, explain that. It could work for me. Why don't you just tell me my benefits won't pay for it, but it's really important to me that I get healthy, so I'm willing to pay for that. If it can help me, I will pay for that. Come on. And this is real. 50% of people right now, adults, men and women, have fatty liver, non-alcoholic fatty liver. And in 1979, not one person was diagnosed with it. What happened in 1980 moving forward that 50%, that means if there's 10 people listening to me right now, 5 of you have fatty liver, and you go to the doctor, they don't even test for it. They wait for your liver enzymes to be out of whack, and then they'll do an ultrasound to see if you have fatty liver. And then guess what? Once they find out you have fatty liver, there's no prescription. They don't make money. They just tell you, well, eat better, you lose a couple pounds, that could probably help. Well, not everybody's overweight that has fatty liver. So what? Eat better? Is that all I got to do? And if you don't know anything about like the fatty liver, okay, you have stage 1. Then it gets worse. It doesn't get better unless you do something to make it better. So then you'll be stage 2. Then you'll be stage 3. And then cirrhosis of the liver, you need a transplant. A big part of the problem that nobody talks about right now, you can look all this up, is that when people need a liver transplant and someone dies and they are willing to, they're donating their organs, 1 out of every 2 of them have fatty liver. So we can't donate. We can't use that liver. It's not a healthy liver. It's a fatty liver. And this is only getting worse. So until we take control of our health by doing what we need to do to make sure we're not deficient and to make sure we're not falling prey to overabundance. We are deficient in omega-3. And we have a product that actually works. It's that simple. So my recommendation, schedule a consultation with me. Maybe you want to become a partner and help spread the word and make some extra money. That'd be great. I love to work with you. Or maybe you just want it for yourself. Great. But remember, we have a test and you don't got to take my word for it. Because I love it when people go, well, let me go do some I'm a clinician. I am a researcher. I've done evidence-based clinical studies. We're getting ready to do 3 of them this year. I mean, that's what we do. I'm not putting myself out there like this, like and putting my reputation on the line all these years doing all the work that I've done. That's why I have clients been with me over 20 years, and not a few of them. I mean, we're talking hundreds of people. So all the things you want to research, let me save you some time. And so you don't go down rabbit holes and confuse yourself. I will give you all the real research, all the clear data. I will walk you through step by step. And there's other scientists that I work with that I can put you in touch with that are not biased. We are just sharing facts, the truth. Man, come on. All right, you guys, that was good. That was good. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Was that good? Did I share some good information there? Was it different? Was it unique? Did it open your eyes to looking at things a little differently? And I'm asking that because I'm curious. Where did I fall short? Because I believe I built a pretty strong case there. We covered a lot, and if anyone came in late, then you missed it, and you can always listen to the replay. I mean, hit the thumb up, hit like. I just want to know. So Maricela, what's up? I'm glad you made it. And she says, yes, you are doing well, Robert. Okay. I like Maricela. She's good people. Claudia, I'm glad you had time to listen in. Claudia she's on it. Claudia's all about wanting to, hey, let's all get healthy. Sandy, what's up, Sandy? Sandy's a coach and a partner, and she's putting it out there and helping people. I mean, this is so intriguing. This is cool. And I would say you guys listen to it again and again and again. I'm working on an article, and let me say articles because there'll be more than one, but I will be making these articles available that will explain all the things that you heard me talk about with the references, so you can go look up studies, etc. Because my goal is to share the truth. Now, could there be another omega out there that's working? I believe that there's some out there that work. Yeah. But when the data is clear that over 90% don't, then the challenge is finding one that works. The cool part, let's say you have an omega that you really like, then with our tests, you can find out if it works. My mom did that, and she was taking an omega that's pretty popular. They even have commercials. She was taking it for over 4 years, paying $95 a month. And one of my other clients did the same thing, and we did the test, and my mom was out of balance, hugely out of balance. So that proved that it didn't work. That product was not working. And then I gave her our product, and she's in balance. She's good. She's good. What a difference. 4 years of taking a product that she didn't even know if it worked or not. Then 4 months of taking the product, and we have conclusion that it is working. I don't know about you, but that was all most people need to hear. Because when you can test, you don't have to guess. Okay, listen to the whole thing, because this could be life-changing. Anyone who listens to any of this, I believe they will be in touch with me. Because I'm offering a free consultation. Now, some people are just shy and they don't want to talk to anybody on the phone. And then, you can email my assistant. But don't sit and do nothing. At least learn a little bit more. Right? We're in your corner. And that's it. All right, you guys. I'm Robert Ferguson. I am your nutritionist. I'm a guy who shares because I care, and I will continue to do that. And I just want to say, God bless you. Enjoy where you are today. Love your family. Hug your friends. Yesterday, I lost a good one, and it really threw my whole day off. She was a good friend. And when she discovered that she had cancer. Her name is Wendy. I call her Wendy G. A little over a year ago. And during the pandemic, I did a couple interviews with her on my podcast. She was a designer, a consultant, just a beautiful human being. And she had invited me to come out to Mexico because she had this beautiful place she was living at. She had left the States, and just wanted peace and quiet. And she felt with the internet, I could work anywhere. And she was doing that. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to come. So I don't know about a month, but I'm going to come for a good week. I was a little nervous about it. And then I hadn't heard from her. Long story short is when she contacted me, and I felt she had a lot going on. She called me, and she hadn't told many people, but she felt very comfortable to share this with me. And she said, I have cancer. So she began the battle. And this probably goes back a couple years ago now, actually. And then got to the point where nothing seemed to be working. Or no, they did all the therapies, I remember. Then it came back. And at that point, she said it's terminal. And I remember that conversation when she called me and just told me that it's terminal because, you know, she was still her. She wasn't sick, didn't look sick. And I was talking to her, and I never went, but we talk on the phone pretty often, and laughed about a whole bunch of things. And every time I talked to her, she seemed to be her normal, regular self. And I would give advice from a nutrition standpoint the best I could. I mean, not like I had a solution. I mean, but I did have some words of wisdom because I've worked with many people who, while they had, you know, were going through cancer. And then, you know, last week she had a birthday. I hadn't talked to her for about a week, and she wasn't feeling really well, but she was still kind of being herself. And I did a post, and I did something really interesting. And I'm about done, you guys, but I like to wish people happy birthday on social media if I know it's their birthday. And I knew it was her birthday, and this was 7 days ago. And so I did a post, and I put because I hadn't talked to her, so I did a post, and I put her picture up. So I went the little extra mile, and then a whole bunch of you know, my friends on Facebook and Instagram, like didn't know her, but saw me wish her happy birthday to this beautiful friend of mine, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of people joined in, and she liked it. She saw it, but she didn't call me. We didn't talk. So I knew something was off. And I was like, man, she must really be going through it. And then I got notified yesterday that she passed. I'm so happy I went the extra mile and did that post and put her picture up. And I know she saw that. She wasn't in a position where she could talk. And I'm thankful for all of you who took the time. That little like, taking a moment and hitting like, you know what? That can brighten up somebody's day. So thank you to all of you who did that. And you'll be forever missed, Wendy. I mean, we all got to go at one point. She definitely lived a good life, and she was a great friend. She was one of those friends I could call, and she was just my friend. She became more of like I think we were business consultants for each other and like brother sister type thing, which was great. So anyway, you guys enjoy your day. Thank you for giving me a chance to share that information with you. If you want to learn more, go to dietfreelife.com. Reach out. I am Robert Ferguson, and until the next one, which will be either later today or tomorrow, we got to keep it going because, we got to keep it going. Let's keep it moving. Let's spread the word. Let's help people. Let's encourage people to live their best and their healthiest life. Until the next one, let's get out of here.